Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to American Civil War. Sorry, it's actually Strategic Command American Civil War. This is a new turn-based American Civil War strategy game based on the Strategic Command engine. This is a game which just came out on Steam on the 14th, so just a couple of days ago. Came out on Matrix Games website directly maybe a month ago or so. We are playing our Union Let's Play series here, and so far in the war, things are going, I would say, reasonably well for the Union. We're ahead, I would say, in the east, where we considerably outnumber the rebels and have pushed to very close within Richmond. I believe in the next turn we'll be able to destroy Williamsburg and link the supply source up from Fort Monroe, as well as the supplies coming down from Washington. We have a considerable, at least it seems like a considerable numerical advantage in the east, and we've also taken the bulk of the Shenandoah Valley while we continue to push down towards Staunton. In West Virginia, we're a little behind. We lost Charleston to the rebels, but we've just destroyed some partisan units near Philippoli, and so we are looking at reorganizing these troops under General McClellan, who was never promoted out of his West Virginia command, probably to his betterment. And we'll be moving down toward Charleston shortly with him at the head of our forces. Meanwhile, in Kentucky, that's where things are really kind of behind. Not so much Kentucky, but in Tennessee. We've taken Huntsville, Tennessee. We've also taken Tazewell, and we have forces in the vicinity of Knoxville, although we have not yet taken that. We just recently took Nashville, and so we are looking at breaking into the interior of Tennessee, perhaps with a couple of divisions and corps. We destroyed a rebel army this turn at Franklin, a division, and we will probably look to destroy a division at Murfreesboro next turn, so we can open up these railroad lines south toward Columbia, Shelbyville, McMinnville, and maybe down toward Fayetteville, Pulaski, and Winchester, perhaps pushing as far as Chattanooga. I'm kind of surprised Chattanooga isn't marked on the game's map as a morale point, because it was a pretty important position for the Confederacy. A major east-west rail line ran through Chattanooga, same as Knoxville actually, so taking either of these cities would cut that rail line. Now we've technically already cut it, doesn't matter as much in game, but at least strategically in real life, that was a major hindrance to the rebels losing that railway. We've also pushed some ironclads down toward the southern end of the Tennessee River. It appears the rebels have built a couple of their own ironclads down here, and I think I'm way behind in terms of building ironclads on the rivers. I've got this one understrength DeKalb ironclad. We have one ironclad, the Cairo, which needs to be repaired up north. That's about it on these rivers. Our hold on the rivers is tenuous at best. Meanwhile, on the Mississippi, we just took Paducah. We moved Hancock's corps across the river there, and we have a corps and then also a division across. We will begin trying to push south there to try and make a drive toward Memphis, hopefully take out the forts near Island 10 and near New Madrid, and then move further south in toward the interior. We have a large force under General Grant on the western end of the Mississippi River here, but a lot of stagnation along this front because the rebels have a considerable amount of troops. It seems like ratios in terms of our troops to theirs, this area just west of the Mississippi is where the rebels have concentrated most of their forces. Not most, but a disproportionately large amount of their forces here. And it's kind of maybe a fool's errand for us to try and advance along Missouri's bank, the Mississippi bank, but on the eastern portion of Missouri, because there's really not good supply land, lines here, and Grant is kind of fighting against the environment and the elements, but I kind of got sucked into fighting here, and I don't really have the stomach to withdraw. I probably could maybe pull back to Greenville and Cape Girardeau, and then pull maybe a corps and a couple of divisions out. We could probably hold this line with two divisions here, maybe two divisions of the cavalry division, and then another division and another cavalry division over here. So we could probably pull at least one division out from this front, but I haven't done that yet because, well, I just haven't. Meanwhile, in western Missouri, we have some cavalry surrounded near Waynesville. We have pushed south and taken Springfield, and we also are beginning to threaten northern Arkansas toward Pea Ridge, and perhaps moving towards some of the native capitals who have opposed us in this conflict so far. And then in New Mexico, things are just not going at all there. If anything, they're going in favor of the rebels. But we have a force here where things have largely stagnated in northern New Mexico, as well as southern New Mexico. The rebels continue to kind of harass us there. We can't make any progress. It always feels tenuous, like we might be overrun, but supplies are a major hindrance. If we look to the south, we've taken New Orleans recently, and we've also pushed as far north as Baton Rouge, so the rebels have lost two capitals, Nashville and Baton Rouge, and we've also pushed on the western bank of the Mississippi River down here, taking Thumbro, Donaldsonville, Plaquemine, and we've got two Marine divisions ashore here. We also have additional forces on the way as well. Now, one perhaps problem, and that's why we've pulled our ironclads back here near Fort Pickens, is the rebels have pulled a kind of a surprise out of their hat. They destroyed one of our gunboat flotillas east of Charleston. They have two ironclads, which must have just recently put to sea, and they're trying to raise the blockade there. I have two ironclads in the Gulf, which I will raise east, and then we also have the Monitor up here, which will head south. But that's kind of a bit of a surprise. The Rebs definitely caught me off guard there, and I haven't invested enough in ironclads to really be able to fully stop that. So we'll see what comes of that. Meanwhile, we are at the end of our turn. We've already spent our points. We've already issued our commands. So we were going to go ahead and wrap this up and move toward the end of April in this game. They're 2-week turns. Apache warriors raiding settlements in New Mexico. Thankfully, they are rebel settlements. Our troops at Fort Pulaski continue to shut down Savannah's harbor there. War Department reports progress in skirmisher development. I don't know what skirmishers level 1 does for us, but I assume it's good. We also develop ironclads level 1, so we can start upgrading our ironclads technology level. Industrial level will give us more income. We've also cut the rebel income from about 1,000 MPPs a month down to around 750 to 800 a month, while we're making almost double that now as of the last turn. So good news for us. Actually, I think they're closer to 900, but still a considerable reduction from, I want to say they're down like 300 or so MPPs when I looked at the graph just before the stream. Well, the Rebs didn't quite destroy that ironclad, but they sure got damn close, and we'll destroy ourselves if we try and get out of there, because you have to run past an enemy unit and it costs you generally 1 MPP. So that ironclad is possibly done, or at least, yeah, she's probably done. She didn't get overrun though. Meanwhile, I'm assuming they moved some reinforcements to Shelbyville there to try and stop our breakthrough, perhaps also south of Lebanon. So it looks like we heard a railway movement icon there, so they may be trying to move down there. Ironclads going after our gunboats here east of Fort Pulaski, doing considerable damage but not destroying it there. They didn't lift the blockade of Charleston, which is interesting. We still have some gunboats on the blockade line there. Their corps attacked our division south of Cape Girardeau. Also a division of theirs attacked as well out of New Madrid. Drove our troops back. Didn't destroy them yet. They did destroy our brigade east of Carthage, and then also destroyed our division west of Norfolk, but we still have a force in Norfolk itself. Our lead division north of Richmond also was just attacked by both a corps and a division and driven back. And then they advanced some troops out of the Richmond entrenchments to great expense for them. 6 MPP or 6 hit points lost for them on that battle, while our division only lost 2. Okay, so I don't know why they would attack with engineers. That seems foolhardy. I imagine engineers don't have a very high combat value. They're also digging entrenchments all around Richmond as far as we can see. By the way, while we are streaming this, it is Friday night, so I hope you guys all had a nice weekend, or nice week, and have a nice weekend to look forward to. They're really trying to destroy that gunboat along the river there, attacking with cavalry as well. So a little bit of a pushback in front of Richmond, but that actually might suit us if they have troops sucked out of the fortifications into open ground, where I can perhaps deal with them more evenly. That would suit me just fine. All right, Hampton's cavalry is suffering attrition losses because they have no supply at Waynesville. Pro-Union bandits are causing disruption in Missouri. Hell yeah, I'll take that. Pro-Confederate bands causing disruption in Kentucky. Not so thrilled with that. Do I get adjacency bonus when we have troops clumped together in front and behind? I don't think so, A History of the Great War. The Great Fire of 1863 burns through Denver. I have never heard of the Great Fire in Denver. I don't know if anyone from Denver can attest to that, but interesting nonetheless. One of the things I do wonder with this game is, like, the game has an interesting mechanic. We lost a regiment and a brigade there. The game has an interesting mechanic where you can run past forts or ships on a river. You generally take at least 1 MPP of damage. I don't know if that scales based on the level of fort or anything like that. But I'm curious because I've been very conservative in my approach trying to move down the Mississippi River. But, like, if we had run past New Madrid as historically was done and we dropped troops south of the river. So, like, one of my main criticisms of this game is that it just feels like front lines are way too static and it doesn't really represent the way that Civil War combat worked, and maneuvering armies, you know, don't really seem to exist. Like, we're stuck on a trench line here in front of Richmond. What I'm curious though is if you use the rivers the way they were used historically and you sent troops on transports past these fortifications, and let's say you dropped them down here at Memphis and overwhelmed an individual garrison unit here, I really wonder if you'd be able to get a more authentic feeling Civil War game by running past the forts, dropping troops in the rear, and then pulling troops off the front lines to come, you know, contain you. Then that opens things up here and you can rapidly move down the front. I wonder if that would be a viable strategy the way the game works. I honestly don't know, but it's something that I've kind of been thinking about because I have been a little bit critical of the game's sort of static frontline nature. I think it works really well for World War II. It works really well for the World War I game, especially. But, you know, the map is huge, but it doesn't seem like you have much maneuvering in the way of armies. And perhaps that's my own playstyle's problem, and less, you know, less the game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Shenandoah Valley is still too small probably to replicate quite that level of campaign, but certainly I guess what I would hope for, because I think where the game is strongest is in the naval aspect, like sending troops down and taking Norfolk on an amphibious landing and catching the enemy there, or sending troops down to Fort Pulaski or to New Orleans. Like, that works in a way that I rarely see Civil War games work. So I think that part of the game is done well, but the front specific way the game works, not so much. I just wonder if it's more because I'm conservative in the way I play. Anyway, let's get going here. So what are we going to do? Well, we've got a rebel force at Hickman. We've also got a corps in front of them, so let's go ahead and attack. I know there's probably at least one cavalry unit somewhere around here. They might be. Yep, they're there. Fuck. No, I can't attack there. I guess we'll just cross with this division. I was hoping to finish off the enemy division at Hickman, but I wasn't able to. So we'll cross with the division at Cairo. We'll pull this division back to reinforce at Cairo. We'll move this brigade south. I'll get a 2-4. I'll take that. Wow, that was a 5-0. Yeah, shattered him. I don't know if it's the game system, JD, or if it's my style of play. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, is perhaps the game system is less the issue than the way I play. It is certainly possible. All right, we just destroyed a rebel division at Poplar Bluff with our corps. All right, let's reinforce this guy. Let's move Grant onto Poplar Bluff where he can draw more supply and help those troops out. And we'll just kind of keep grinding south. I don't know if Gainesville is open or not. I'm a little leery of moving this division forward, but I'm going to do it. Hey, we took the town. Let's pull them back now. Just keep our troops concentrated. All right, so we have a rebel division or rebel corps here at New Madrid. And I wonder if we're cutting them off from supply. I guess I could still theoretically cross at this fort here, but by moving as far south as Gainesville, things are starting to open up a bit here in eastern Missouri. Drop an LHD on a division of Marines. I think at a tactical level, you're right, JD, but I do think there are some operational elements to the game that do work pretty darn well. All right, let's upgrade these. Well, let's upgrade the cavalry at least. So I guess because we got skirmishers now, we can upgrade everybody. Leave it to old brains to be a little bit slow. I wonder what skirmishers do. Do they give me better intel? Do they... I guess I can look. Go to research here. Skirmishers. Each level of new skirmishers increases the demoralization values of infantry units. For regiments and brigades, this bonus is plus 5%. For divisions, corps, mountain troops, it's plus 10%. Demoralization values. What is that? Is that when they attack? Is it improve their overall morale? I don't know. All right, so our ironclad down here is isolated. We know the Rebs are coming north. Let's reinforce our gunboats. Can we upgrade these guys? We can. So this gunboat's going to get attacked. I don't want to move these guys because they're probably just going to run right into enemy ironclads. So let's move these guys back to Evansville where they can upgrade. These guys have no supply, so we will attack. Can we get Hampton? Nope, not quite. My own troops have pretty good supply there. Nice, we almost destroyed this division at Springfield, and we got them. Oh yeah. All right, I don't know what our supply's gonna be like. Probably not great if I try and advance these guys south. Just reinforce that cavalry. Hey, I did a little bit of damage to the native troops there. Okay, I think that does it for Tennessee. I'm not going to move the... Well, I already reinforced. So let's go back to New Mexico before we move east. Let's upgrade these guys to maximum levels. Pull this cavalry back to Fort Craig where they'll reinforce. I'll pull my own cavalry back. Unless we want to try and reinforce them where they are. Which I just did. Okay. Let's see what the Rebs have in store for us there. You know, they have their ironclads here. I got to spend a whole bunch of money rebuilding some of these frigates which are damaged. I don't like the idea of using my frigates to engage the enemy before I'm ready. Let's pull these guys back to Hatteras. So they got some supply back. We'll move them back onto the Wilmington blockade. Okay. Fort Pickens, Jacksonville, New Jersey. Jacksonville is where we want you guys. All right. I'm going to move my ironclad, even though it's not upgraded yet. Switch this up to Raider. I mean, Mobile's got a butt ton of raiders along its coast, so. Curious about Fort Hudson. I wish I could get a little bit closer and see more what's up there. Ah. Okay, I guess that wasn't as bad as it could have been. Our Marines ran into cavalry at Opelousas. I was hoping to maybe take down the Franklin, Avery Island, Martinsville, and Opelousas portion of the map. Hey, Sir Goldie. Hope you're well. All right, let's try this. Can we bombard Williamsburg? We can. We got 1 damage there from the gunboats. Let's move division down here and go for it. Move the division up from Fort Monroe. And we'll move this brigade to finish it off. There we go. So Williamsburg on the peninsula has fallen. Pull the division back there. And now we have linked up the troops around Richmond with the troops on the peninsula. So that's good, I think. All right, we'll try and destroy this division. We will. Pull these guys back to Rappahannock. Let's upgrade these troops and then reinforce the other guys south of Fredericksburg. Okay, I wanted to get some intel on the enemy troops near Staunton. Upgrade the troops there. My cavalry did their job. Upgrade that division. Rail Howard south. I guess to support Reynolds? Like, I just got so many freaking headquarters out this way. All right. Let's move. I'm here. We'll upgrade them next turn. Spending the bulk of my money this turn on upgrades and reinforcements. So what I'm not, again, totally clear on in this game is just how exactly some of the mechanics work in any event. There's a force at Charlottesville. I think we could probably push south and take Staunton if they don't reinforce it with the troops under Banks up there. Also wonder if it'd be worth replacing Banks. We don't really have a lot of better options. McClernand, Hunter, Gilbert, Hulbert, Curtis, and Franklin, and Rosecrans would all be moderate upgrades. I'm not sure Pope realistically was better. Not today, Sebastian. Came out on the 14th on Steam. It's been out for about a month on Matrix's website. Okay, so we've got all that stuff. I think we're ready to place our new units. We got a new Marine unit here, so we'll place them at, I guess we'll put them at Wilmington, Maryland, Pennsylvania. Well, Newark is probably the best in terms of getting them close to a transport spot. So we got a new Marine division, so that's nice. I don't know that I have any other transport units along the coast. I haven't moved my frigates. One of these will probably, multiple of these will probably get destroyed if I don't. Here's the challenge. I don't really want to fight the rebel ironclads. Oh, these guys also have no supply. Fort Pulaski provides supply, right? A little bit. But if they concentrate on one of these frigates, they'll destroy them. Hey, Viper Dave. This is a new game, Viper. At least a new game in terms of development. I guess it means what, I guess it depends what you mean by new. New as in a new game? Well, we've done like 11 episodes on my YouTube channel of it. If you mean new in terms of, you know, new-ish, yes. All right. So we have 303 points left. I don't know if I can buy much with that. Maybe a river ironclad, which I guess would be nice. Ooh, I wonder what ironclads does to the effectiveness of the ironclad. Not sure. Guess we'll find out. Let's build it. It'll be faster to build and then upgrade than just not build. So we'll build 2 new river ironclads. Be cool if you get tin clads. I guess that might be like ironclad level 0. All right, so we went all Navy this turn. Research, by the way, we probably want to spend more on. We're starting to slip a little bit on that. No, we've been playing it for like a month on the channel. All right, so let's go ahead and end this turn. We'll move into May of 63. I also feel like there's got to be a better way to get your morale up for the Union, because boy, does your morale suck. And the rebel morale seems to be decent, and I don't know if that's ingrained in how the game works because like they're defending their territory, or if it has something to do with proximity to headquarters in certain cities or whatever. Like I'm not very clear on any of that. Naval weapons level 2. Nice. That means I got to go upgrade all my ships, but maybe they can fight better against ironclads. I assume the Rebs don't have level 2. I haven't seen any of their naval weapons better than 1. Well, actually the ironclads have a naval weapon 1 there. And there dies the river iron. Oh, she survived. And there she dies. But at least it ate up both turns for those 2 ironclads on the southern end of the Tennessee. There goes a gunboat. And another gunboat. God damn the rebels. Their submarine seems wholly ineffective. Not worth the whatever. Oh, I'm sure units, I understand how morale works in terms of affecting combat performance, Sebastian, or sorry, Jet. But it's more a question of how you get the morale to go back up. Because we've taken a whole bunch of cities like New Orleans and other places like that, and I have not noticed a difference at all. All right, so they attacked our division there, drove it back toward Cairo, or however you pronounce that. Rebel cavalry south of somewhere, and then infantry also. Maybe you guys should retreat. Nope. Oh, I worried they would do that. Swinging behind me and cut me off. Kudos to them, though. That's how cavalry should be used, right? War of Northern Aggression, my ass, Sebastian. Don't you bring that nonsense down here. Or up here. Ha! That corps just wiped out that brigade. Good job, Grant. Alright, they're forming an army in Tennessee. They got a headquarters unit there and everything now. It may be a little tougher to dislodge. And Hampton's division starves. Meanwhile, the Mexican Civil War continues. Maybe, Jet. I guess I haven't seen that. I've had troops that have been out of combat and have had decent supply, and their morale still stays pretty damn low. Maybe I'm just not successful enough. Maybe I need to do more things. Although it seems like most of the good things I do result in enemy fighting spirit going down and less so our morale going up. So... Can you fight the Mexican-American War? No, but it wouldn't shock me if you could mod that into the game. Do we dare try to go for the enemy division at Murfreesboro? 3 to 4 was not quite the result I was expecting or hoping for. Ah, they retreated. I hoped I would destroy them with my cavalry on the next turn. Okay. All right, let's upgrade those guys. Be interesting to see what the Rebs do here. We broke their line at Murfreesboro. We nearly destroyed this division and drove them back. We also bloodied Herbert's division. We suffered a fair number of casualties ourselves, however. Actually, let's also move Halleck up into Nashville. That should help. We will actually move one of the divisions under Hooker west toward Crossville, see if we can't get in the enemy rear. Okay. Bring this division up toward these Rebs back here. Maybe go take Crossville if there's no enemy troops there. Let's see if we can get the Rebs at Hickman. I moved the Corps deliberately because that way it would uncover the enemy without basically using up a unit that hasn't attacked yet. And we destroyed the Rebel division at Hickman. Hell yeah. Maybe that... Oh no. I was gonna say maybe that opens up things down toward the Mississippi River, but not quite. They got a Corps there. I'll pull these guys back. Let's reinforce these troops. Okay. Let's pull the gunboat west. If the enemy rebel ironclads try to break out, we'll know what to do. Alright, do the Rebs at New Madrid have supply? Also, why is my supply so shit? I don't know if we can really support this drive south. I might be getting a little bit over my skis. It'll be interesting to see if this rebel corps moves west to try and cut off Grant's force. Do we have no units to deploy this turn? Yeah, no, I know you can swap units. around. A wide flanking maneuver by the indigenous cavalry, sweeping in toward Pea Ridge and Fayetteville in the rebel rear. Meanwhile, Wade Hampton got himself killed. There's a rebel headquarters unit. Destroy them, boys. They're just trying to push units up like places they don't belong. Nothing good ever happens for my soldiers. Cook Springs. Or Spring. Vandalin, thanks for the follow. Appreciate the support. Alright, so these guys are sort of cut off. Well, that's great. I just left Baton Rouge open. Let us pray the rebels have no troops down that way. Seems unlikely, but you never know. Meanwhile, my gunboats will try and harass the Rebs on the their cavalry here. At least we're here at the readiness. I don't know if that'll bring supply across the river or not. Nope. Whoa, attrition. Whoa, whoa. Here we come. All right, let's get these guys upgraded. Frigates, Marines, you're going to head to New Orleans because it looks like we're going to lose a Marine unit there. Nice. We attacked the rebel cavalry there and did some damage. So supply next turn. I don't know if the rebels will have much. We'll see what happens at Baton Rouge. Ironclad there needs to upgrade. Ironclad at Hatteras. It's gonna race south. I don't have any resupply points to get to before we get to Buford, so we'll force sail these guys. It doesn't seem to affect ships in the same way it affects troops when you force march, which I guess makes sense. They're 9, they're probably a 10. They're looking at breaking the blockade. I mean, I'm trying to surround them with all the heavy ships I can, but I need some goddamn ironclads to weaken them up a bit. So like these guys are 42-3. And if I move them quickly south, they're still 42-3, although their morale and readiness sucks. Probably because they were without supply for a good long while. You can't stack units on hexes, although I guess you could argue that would be something you would think would be in a Civil War game of this era. Alas, it is not the case. I need siege guns probably at this point. Alright, let's see if we can dislodge this brigade in front of Staunton. Is it worth attacking this corps? Or should I let them attack me, maybe? I don't know what they can do against a corps. Alright, so they've definitely sealed off the line south to Petersburg. We'll cut the James River. I don't know if that'll impact their supply at all. Terror, thanks for the resub. Appreciate the support. 6 months now. Thank you very much. Feels like more than half a year to you. Is that bad? Does that mean like it's been a long time? We're gonna throw these guys on amphibious long range, and I'm actually going to move them down toward Virginia. All those guys are upgraded for the push to Charleston. Oh no, I made a mistake. I guess they got troops at Beckley too. You just got independence from the northern aggressors yourself in this game, I'm assuming. A jolly hello to you. I hope you're living on a prayer like Bon Jovi this fine evening. Sure. Whoa. All right. So we have 540 MPPs left. We bought 2 river ironclads last turn. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but I also really do need some siege artillery. So we are going to buy some. We'll buy 1 siege artillery unit, and then can we buy 1 river ironclad? Yeah, we can, with all the trappings. So 1 siege artillery and 1 river ironclad coming right up. I'll need that probably in front of Virginia. I kind of got myself probably more exposed than I want to be south of Fredericksburg. They could definitely destroy a corps, a division, or both, depending on how they swap units around. But I'm curious if we can incent them into an attack that maybe gives me a chance to destroy them next turn. My assumption is they'll attack, then they'll withdraw, they'll replace with a new unit and attack again, and maybe destroy my corps while I destroy none of them. That's probably the most realistic outcome. But we'll see. How do I feel this strategic command compares with the World War II and World War I versions? I mean, I've been saying it all along, Slick. I like the naval element of this game and the way that the blockade is absolutely vital to the Union winning. I like the ability to move troops by sea so you can drop in and take key ports as the Union did historically. I think that element of the game is well done. I suspect the river is pretty well done too, because when you pass a fort, you take 1 hit point, but you can keep moving and you can cut supplies via river. So I'm really tempted in a future game to mount troops up on transports, move them past the forts, drop them beyond the forts down at like Memphis or something like that, and see if that'll pull troops off the front line, because I think you might be able to get a very mobile game that way. but the way I've experienced it so far has been a little disappointing in that it just feels a little bit like the World War I game where front lines are very static. I don't know if that's because I'm playing in a conservative playstyle or if that's genuinely how the game plays. I need a little bit more time with it. But overall, I would say the land combat doesn't feel very Civil War-y, but the naval element of the game I think is pretty well done and definitely makes this game interesting and something that I enjoy playing. That's my experience so far. All right, so this should be, I'm assuming we can stack HQs here. Okay, I don't have a supply point in front of Richmond, which is probably a problem. I wonder if a HQ at Monroe would be better. I don't know. But I think that's it for this turn, so... Yeah, I mean, it's similar monolith. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up here. We are closing in on the end of this turn. We're about to end the turn. And we're into May of 1863, and the war's going pretty well. We are at the gates of Richmond. Hopefully in our next episode, we will be able to take Richmond. But we'll see how that plays out then. Until then, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. Please leave your comments down below. I'm definitely interested in reading them. And until next time, as always, I'm out. Bye-bye now. Why do I make that weird noise at the end of my videos sometimes? I don't know. Maybe I'm just waiting to see if anybody comments on it. Who knows?